Hey guys, we're gonna do a little bit of a interview. I know this is just to calm people down from my school that were like, why we were here when he was in high school, we saw it, and now like this is kind of like. So I'm gonna break down. I'm gonna speak directly into the microphone, so women across the country, out of country, or whatever, in this city, I'm gonna talk like a woman wants to hear it. So we're gonna go through my recruiting process on video one more time, so people can understand why I made the decision. That will help you understand why I didn't do anything fast. So when I'm a freshman, basically when I'm in middle school, like Isaiah's going to college for football, and he's going to the NFL. That's what they were saying. Go to college, high school, it's the same thing. Or he's going to the NFL. So as a freshman, I look at how I can get to the best school that I can. So think of it like this: I'm a freshman, and I have to start looking at partners. So like, I know my one of the coaches, Woody's uh, father, played coach basketball. So I'm like, I don't know if she's basically looking at athletes or military, for partners. Going into because you can do both when you go to because I was getting letters. You can go to college, um, and then you could play football for the military, or you can just go to a university. So I'm like, I asked this girl, like, I'm like, listen, we have good chemistry and all that, and I want to start a timeline with her. So in me is like, in this particular 4 year span of high school, I'm trying to find a loyal person, and the reason for it is if you don't find one, it's not worth it. I don't care what anybody, it's not worth it. Period. So in high school, there's two things. You can go off the paper and for fitness and all this stuff, and then I guess you could like physics your way into school. You could get good grades, and then I guess compromise football, and then get into a really good school like a Ivy League school, and possibly walk on. And then you can there's other thing, two other options. I guess you could like try to win, but the last option is if you're a really really good football player or athlete in general, like athlete, you can go to any college you want in the country. So like let's just think of it like this: when you're a football player, the world is not the same in admissions. So if you look at, I'm just using my profile photo, that is an Alabama recruit. So if you're able to go to Alabama and you have like a 3.5 or 3.8, you can go to any college you want in the country. Now here's the problem: a lot of people are like, "Yo, I want him to go professional. I want him to go to, I want him to play football. I want him to be like a hoe in college. I want him to party. I want him to be kind of like a celebrity." But in my mind, I'm like, this is the first time that as a black man, I have black friends that are dependent on me making the best decisions that I possibly can make, and they're having like private meetings with me. They're like, if you make a really bad decision, it affects every single one of us. So can we ask you to be a little more genius and try a little bit harder and make something happen so we can get jobs when we're out of high school? Because here's the reality: it was like a high for everyone that was black inside of high school. Like, even though we were seeing the bad stuff, it was like I felt at peace. I felt like people didn't want to hurt me. Um, Not hurt you, but like I felt like I was getting praise on the way up for trying. And that's all we were talking about. And I know James, not to give him too much of it, if you know James, we had the same discussion. We have an opportunity to get jobs when we leave here, you know and that's all they talked about in high school, which was like, you're so great, but you're gonna work here, like you're gonna sell drugs. You know what I mean? So not sell drugs, but you're gonna. And so I'm just like, I'm gonna look at all my options, and I decided to just do math, which meant to kind of think ahead. So what I started to do is I need to choose a school that is good generationally, and it's good in all categories. So I'm gonna break it down for women, right? So if you go to, so let's say that I go to the military at 18. You get hurt. You play football. Um, you're not necessarily going to have the same jobs because you're hurt. And if you advance, okay, but like the likelihood of you advancing, like I don't know a lot of people that were in the army besides like legends, you know what I mean, that are getting featured prime time, making a whole bunch of money. So in my mind, it's like I'd be the first one, and so I knew that going to the military, they don't necessarily win all the time. So I decided to deny the military in order to look at regular schools. So it was like, how do I make it easier for me to make money? So in my mind, I'm a senior in high school, and I just say, screw it. I'm just going to go off the paper, which means that I'm going to switch positions to wide receiver, and I'm going to try to be the most valuable receiver forever. This means your strength category. So it means weight room. And make sure that I'm really freaking strong, because if you're really freaking strong as a wide receiver, you can go to a really, 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 really good university. And the way I would practice is I practice in a way that was for college coaches and NFL coaches. The reason why I'm getting looked at still for football is because of my IQ. You would think that every athlete is smart like that, but my resume says that we had like a pro style offense in high school and a pro style offense at Whitburg. So it's like I also had to find a school that had a pro style in case I wanted to go to the next level. So what does this mean? This means no, every single school doesn't get looked at because they didn't have the type of playbook. So they'd be like, we don't need him because we never saw him. So fortunate enough to have the resume of like a pro-like option. I think we had triple option, a spread offense. We had different packages, and I've seen them. And I'm overcomplicating it, but so the women understand this. So there's like the option to basically choose the school that's Division 1. Like when you like, I want to go to Division 1 school, and then you have the option to go in the military. But then you have the option to go to like a really, really, really friggin' good school, like a Harvard or an Ivy League school with football. So I switched my mind, and at 18 years old, I know a lot of people saw this coming. So basically, run it back from when I was a freshman. I said, I'm going to set up my paper to where I can get into Harvard like 3 different ways with football. So what this means is like you can get into a really, really good school off of football. Then you can transfer in if you don't want to and then work. Or you could be really good at football and you could just get into in academics and you could get into Harvard. Like a 3.5. I was getting 3.8s, but like I ended up with like a 3.5 my senior year. So it's like in terms of like the year. So I'm like, I can transfer in. So I chose Wimber University because it is nationally level ranked, or it's nationally acclaimed, and it's good in all categories, and it contrasts generationally. So you have like John Hopkins. At my school, they reference it, but this is a better school than John Hopkins. So better than Rice University. It's better than Richmond. It's better than Dartmouth. And I'm using the visual right now, like, or even West Point, which is the military school. So it's like, whoa, where's the guy? Where's Rice? Where's the guy at John Hopkins? Where's the guys from Dartmouth? Where are they in Naples? And that's my point. So at this specific school, so you know it, it's like Princeton to a lot of employers. It wouldn't have made a difference to your employment. Say it one more time. It really doesn't make a difference to your employment. It is that good of a school. And what I mean by I'm using football to get into the best university is they lay out a bunch of schools and they say you get to pick any one of these programs because you're good at football. That's what they did with me. It wouldn't have mattered Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, but what type of school do you want to go to? I'm like, private. You know why? Because like there's really good schools that are private. You can transfer in private off of academics, but you can basically pick your class when you're a really good football player. So I picked the class that I thought was the best one for me, which was multi-millionaire class at a very young age, which means Aman Gadzi is rich at 21. I'm in the same class as him. And you'll see the difference. You'll be like, whoa, this guy's on Google. This guy, stayed in his job, or not stayed in his job, but it's like, why is he positioned? Because that's how good the school is. And I have my own practice. There's a music school there. So it's like, I started my own practice from a nationally ranked school. So to the music industry, it's like, it's really freaking good. It's verified TV, there's spreads. I could write books. This is another way of saying, like, this was a school where if I just wanted to work hard, I was going to be smart. And Jason and I talked about this. This is a school where if you just wanted to work hard after, you would get credit for it every time. Like, just affirm to someone, I want to work, and I went to this university, and they would give you an opportunity or make you money. They would give you an opportunity or look at your resume. So that's kind of like the university I was looking for. If I wanted to write books, and here's another one where it contrasts over those universities I just mentioned. So some people would be like, oh, but it is a better university than Johns Hopkins University. It is a better university than Rice University. It is a better university than Rice University, Dartmouth. It is a better university than Richmond. It is a better university than the University of Michigan. And maybe not for football, but in terms of getting a job and employment, it is. Today, what it can do for you today. Not discrediting them, but I'm saying the University of Michigan, meaning a regular student, not athlete. If you're just going off the education, being humble and, dude, So, yeah, I went to this university over getting into Michigan and then walking on to the Michigan football team. I chose that over it. And one more time, it's because it contrasts to the next generation. It contrasts with them. The school won like 5 national championships, which means it's like nationally, like, you know what I mean? But if I didn't play football, which I did play football, still am a recruit, Division I recruit who humbled himself to rise higher because that's what I was doing. I was going to make more money. So it all came down when I was at the table. What university was going to make me make more money for a very long time? And at decision time, I didn't have a cap to do it. But if I had like the military academy or military U.S. Naval Academy, Whitburg University, or walking on to regular school, like University of Michigan or Michigan State, I would have easily chose Whitburg University. And it's going to take the next generation, I think they're sophomores now, to see the wisdom in me making a decision like that. It is a faith-based university, which means it's almost like you get blessed. I could call this a law of attraction school. You're right. You're a winner. It's a W on the helmet. You're a W. You can show spreads in your office about this is a school that wins all the time or multiple things. And it's private. So it's a private school. But it's faith-based. And you won't understand the importance of faith-based until you understand what that really means. Faith-based does not mean conning people in a church. Those are wolves in sheep's clothing. Faith-based means that you have values and you believe in charity. You believe in doing what is right. So I went with honesty. I went with that's how I really feel. And this was a decision that I think a lot of people should look at as a transfer school. But it's your first choice at 18 years old. And for me, they're saying that I didn't have to go to any other school that was higher because it was, hopefully that explains it. And if you're a woman, look at these 3 options. You have the Naval Academy. You have Whitburg University, which is televised, which I don't think the military school, besides a couple games, featured on ESPN.